Talk about the Zara Keen Ultimate Sewing Kit, the bag it came in. So here you have the little kit. I measured it and it came out to about, you can see this. So this is almost 6.5 inches long, oops, 4 inches wide, and just about an inch deep or thick. If you're traveling and you have a tightly packed suitcase, now you know basically how this should fit in your suitcase. It really doesn't take up that much room. It's soft and it's small, so you don't have to worry about breakage or anything like that. So to unzip it, do that and you open it up. And this is an extremely well-equipped little travel kit. Oh, my thimble just fell out. So let's just go a little overview of what it comes with. It comes with all these colors that you see. I'm having trouble putting that back in. Quite a variety of colors. I'm not sure that I would need this much for a traveling kit, but it has so many nice things to it that it really kind of thought of every contingency. Here is one little spool that I took out beforehand and unwound a little bit. I just wanted to take a look at it. The edges of the plastic are a little rough, so this is not like the most finely made thing of all time, honestly. I don't know that I would be able to use this on a sewing machine. I don't generally use a sewing machine. I pretty much always do things by hand when I'm mending or hemming or something. So I wouldn't know that for sure, but to me that looks a little bit frail, maybe. One thing I can tell you for sure is that I unwound it so I could check out the thread. And the thread is quite smooth. If you've ever had some spools of thread that seem to be a little uneven or they have little bumps along it, you know how annoying it is when you're trying to sew and the fabric catches on these little extra pieces that get in there and you can't pull it through your stitch. So that is super annoying. And I find that these spools, even though the plastic is not so great, the thread itself is quite nice, and that's really what you care about. So moving on, I mentioned the thimble before it came out. You have a selection of safety pins to keep things together if you have to mend, or your clothing if you're out somewhere. You have the little needle threader. When I was young, I thought these things were ridiculous, but now that I'm the age that I am, and my eyes aren't so good, I can see how these would be very helpful. Then you have a few buttons, if you pop a button off a dress shirt or wherever else. A magnifying glass to help with those eyes that can't quite see things. You have quite a generous amount of needles. There's a slight variation in the sizes from very fine to thicker. And before we continue, I'm going to mention something else. This also came with the kit, this little container here. It was tucked in right there. I left it out because it has more needles in it. I don't know why you even need more needles, but it has more needles. These are super fine needles. As you can see, there's like 4 of them in here, maybe 5 or 6. Oh yeah, there's some in there. I don't particularly like this little case. I found that after I opened it the first time, I could never close it all the way again because the needles come up so high that they prevent the lid from shutting really well. And then if I pushed really hard, they kind of came out the bottom end. There's a tiny little pinprick of a needle. You see that? So I kind of stabbed my finger a little bit when I looked at it. So I don't think I'm going to use this case. I'm probably going to take these needles out and stick them in here with the rest of these because this thing I don't like very much. And because I couldn't close it all the way, when I opened the case, there were needles spread around in here. Not good. So that's just to... I would like the seller to do something about that. But honestly, I don't even think it's necessary because you have this thing. And then you have, hold on to my thimble there, a crochet hook, which is like genius to me because sometimes if you have a thicker sweater or something, you might need this to fix it. The crochet hook is a 4mm hook. Now, if you're used to crocheting, because I do crochet, 4mm is going to fit right in between an F and a G, okay? Because the F is 3.75 millimeters and the G, this is very hard to show on the camera, is 4.25. So this is a G, this is an F. They are like 0.5 millimeter apart. And this one, the 4, fits right in between there in size, but it doesn't have a letter equivalent. They've also given you an embroidery needle to fix in your ends. Now, if you do crochet or knit, you know that you need an embroidery needle to work in ends. But if you're just on a trip and something thicker starts to unravel, you can use the embroidery hook to fix it. This is an ear pick. I had to look that up on the internet because I had no idea what this is. It says the kit comes with an ear pick, but it's mainly for hygiene, literally picking out your ears and the wax and stuff, kind of gross, and dangerous, not to mention it. So how it's used in sewing, I haven't a clue. I've looked it up, but I couldn't find it. I've never used one myself in all my years of having to use sewing, fixing, and mending, and creating a few things. So if somebody else knows and you want to put in the comments, fantastic. I'd like to learn. So here we have a seam ripper. Very handy, very necessary when you're ripping out a bunch of stuff that you might not have liked the way you put it in the first way. Here we have a marking needle, where for real sewing, you know you have to mark the traces of where you are going to be making darts or mending or take something in. This is a kind of handy thing. You have a few extra snaps. Of course, you have a little scissors, and then you have a soft measuring tape. This is an extremely thorough kit. I didn't care for the little needle carrier. I told you that. Don't like that at all. And I wish that these were constructed a little bit better, but I think that I'm nitpicking when it comes to these. They don't really have to be that much better. They work so well the way they are that I think I'm being a little picky. But other than that, what a thorough set. I think that as far as travel goes, you're going to only use something like this if you're going to be gone away for like a long time, or if you have a project you want to work on while you're traveling. Or you could just use it at home if you have nothing else and you want this to be your main sewing or mending kit for small repairs. You have quite a variety of colors for all different kinds of garments repair. It's really nice. It's nicer in person with all the stuff it has than I expected from looking at it online. So other than my few little nitpicks, I really like it. I can't give it 5 stars. I really want to, but I can't give it 5 stars. And the main reason is this thing that I told you about that I actually poked myself with. And the fact that this isn't as well made, the plastic. But again, probably not important. It still is totally worth it, and I really like it. Thanks.